from New Hanover County Schools Television. Three-time Blue Ribbon winner for the North Carolina Schools Public Relations Association for Outstanding Electronic Media. This is your School News.
Welcome to your school news for the week of May 16th through the 22nd of 2016. I'm Alexander Ellsworth.
And I'm Justin Hackling. Topping our newscast this week, Board of Education holds a special meeting in May. County students win Moorhead Cane and Park scholarships, and Roland Grice Trash Can Therapy Band showcases art sensation.
Topping our newscast this week, the Board of Education held a special meeting last week to discuss the upcoming budget proposal and more. With the board notes from this May 12th meeting is YSN reporter Bobby Blue.
The May 12th interim board meeting began in closed session. Following the closed session, the board discussed dates for the holding of student assignment appeals. Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, Dr. John Welmers, presented administrative contracts for renewal. The board approved all the contracts. Then Superintendent Dr. Tim Markley presented a number of administrative recommendations. The board approved Krista Holland as the new principal at Anderson Elementary, Bonnie Hall as the new principal of Forest Hills Elementary, Sharon Descharme as the new principal at Laney, Maggie Rowlandson as the new principal at Trask, Mandy James as a new assistant principal at Parsley, and Duke Wallen as the new CTE High School Program Coordinator. Under old business, the board discussed in length the 2016-17 proposed county budget request. The county manager has recommended to the commissioners a reduction in the sum requested, and the school board discussed changes in the items they are seeking to fund should the commissioners follow the county manager's suggestion. The school board then reviewed the Magnet School resolution presented by the Instruction and Academic Accountability Division. After much discussion, the school board approved pursuing the federal Magnet Schools Assistant Grant Program that could fund enhancements at 5 schools. Following a suggestion from board member Edward Higgins, the wording of the resolution was changed to refer to the plan as a student diversity plan. The meeting was concluded with presentations from the 4 traditional high school signature programs. Each school gave a report on their yearly progress and outlined a number of their accomplishments during the past school year. The next regular Board of Education meeting will be Tuesday, June 7th at 5:30 p.m. at the Board of Education Center, 1805 South 13th Street. As always, if you cannot attend the meeting in person, you can watch the rebroadcast Tuesday nights at 6 p.m., Friday mornings at 8 a.m., and Sundays at 1 p.m. Board meetings can also be watched online at www.nhcs.net. That's your board notes.
In other news, Cecilia Beard of New Hanover High School has been awarded the prestigious Moorhead Cane Scholarship by the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The Moorhead Cane Scholarship covers all expenses for 4 years of undergraduate study at UNC Chapel Hill. In addition, it features a distinctive program of summer enrichment experiences designed to support students as they learn and grow. In addition, North Carolina State University has awarded Jasmine Florence Wang of Hoggard High School the esteemed Park Scholarship. The Park Scholarship provides a 4-year scholarship to attend NC State, including tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, travel, and personal expenses. Recipients also receive a computer stipend, grants to fund professional and personal enrichment experiences, and early course registration.
College Park recently held a Data with Donuts event. Parents were invited to come and look over their students' data notebooks to see what goals they had met this year and to hear about the goals for the rest of the year. Data notebooks are a great way to motivate students to take an active role in their learning. Data notebooks empower students by teaching responsibility and organization. With data notebooks, goals and objectives are written by students to achieve short-term gains, motivating them to keep moving towards long-term goals. In reviewing the notebooks, parents were able to see their child's progress, further help them plan for success during the remaining school year, see a graph of their child's test scores, and discuss reasonable goals.
New Hanover County Schools Superintendent Dr. Tim Markley and members of the New Hanover County Board of Education honored art students from throughout the district at a special breakfast. With the complete report on this special event is YSN reporter Mark Anthony Minicino.
Every spring, New Hanover County Superintendent and Board of Education recognize outstanding achievement in the visual arts with selection of submitted pieces in the annual competition. The winners and their parents were honored at a special breakfast with the superintendent and members of the board. During the breakfast, the students chatted with Dr. Markley, board members, and other guests in attendance. The art students shared details and strategies they used to create their artwork and talked about what inspired them.
I was inspired by Minnie Evans, who worked at Airlie Gardens, and I like mermaids and I like the ocean, so I used the ocean in my piece of art because it's really close to me.
Both the superintendent and the board selected artwork from grades K through 12. Artwork selected by the board will be displayed for 1 year at the Board of Education Center, while artwork selected by the superintendent will be on display for 1 year at the School Systems Administration Building. Recipients of the 2016 Superintendent Choice Art Awards were Kinley Carpenter from Forest Hills Global Elementary School, Violet Dove from Bradley Creek Elementary School, Delia Gargulo from Williston Middle School, and Haywa Lee Song from Ashley High School.
My art teacher called me out of class, like one of my other classes, and she was like, well, the piece of art I selected for that I put in the Art Superintendent Art Awards, it won, and I was really happy. And then I walked back to class, and I was just really happy.
Recipients of the 2016 New Hanover County Board of Education Choice Art Awards contest were Seth Calabrese from Coddington Elementary School, James Melina Tapia from Wrightsboro Elementary School, Tyler Beecham from Wrightsville Beach Elementary School, Lauren Williams from Hoggard High School, Mackenzie Parker from Wrightsboro Elementary School, Cameron Sinclair from Murray Middle School, and Mackenzie Vatchen from Bellamy Elementary School. The wide range of artwork selected this year had magical characteristics. Each artist, no matter their age, seemed to have a vision and creativity that were truly unique. Both the superintendent and members of the Board of Education had high praise for the students and their teachers. Reporting for Your School News, this is Mark Anthony Minicino.
The 15th Annual Arts Sensation was a lively and entertaining event showcasing local talent for a music and dance spectacular to benefit the Cape Fear River Watch. The featured musical performers, the Mid-Atlantic, offered a unique blend of progressive folk, Americana, and bluegrass with a hint of rock and jazz. A distinctive musical sound came alive at this year's event with performances by Trash Can Therapy, 7th and 8th grade students from Roland Grice Middle School, directed by Pete Frank. It started about 6 years ago, the band remains an important therapeutic solution to combat boredom at Roland Grice. The Roland Grice musicians memorize hundreds, maybe even thousands of notes, and it can take them more than a month to perfect a song to their satisfaction. Still, for the 6th students who make up the 7th grade band, despite practicing an undeniable workout, Trash Can Therapy is the best part of their day.
Schools can now apply for grants with the Cape Fear Garden Club. In order to be eligible for consideration for a grant, your application must meet the following criteria. Applicant must be a charitable, nonprofit organization as defined under Section 170 of the Internal Revenue Code. Your project must be readily accessible and within New Hanover County, and all monies from the grant must be applied toward costs of materials for plantings, soil additions or enhancements, and irrigation systems. Grant monies may not be used for labor costs, individual tools, delivery costs, buildings, other hardscapes, or administrative costs.
Now, when Your School News continues, we have an exciting lunch menu forecast.
Plus, coming up in 60 seconds, we'll have reports on area students win big at 2016 Rocame Jamboree, Parsley students travel back in time to the 18th century, and the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction requests feedback on new math standards.
This is Your School News on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhcs.net. Please friend NHCS TV on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to theshelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Welcome back to Your School News. Students from New Hanover and surrounding counties recently participated in the 2016 Rockame Jamboree held at Cape Fear Community College Union Station. YSN reporter Kathy Kale has the full report.
The Rockame program is designed to help students learn more about and grow in the engineering field of science, technology, engineering, and math. Part of that learning is providing a platform for students to train in the particular STEM field of their choice with their educational school atmosphere. Through the Rockame experience, students learn competitive awareness. As they compete in the highly important Jamboree, win or lose, the lessons learned encourage them to strive for more and learn how they can improve. Placing this year at the Region O Council for the Advancement of Minorities in Engineering Jamboree from Murray Middle School were Eric Hunn and James Jones, who took first place in Egg Drop, Ben Tran and Eric Hunn, who took first place in Quiz Bowl, Jade Bryant, who took second place in Pentathlon, and Ben Tran and Aaron Zhang, who took second place in Science Clue. From Virgo Preparatory Academy, Malik Gordon, Mohammed Abdel Hamid, and Kelsia Jacobs took third place in math tests. Jemiah Honeycutt and Jameer Richardson took second place in Write It, Do It. Janika Guerrero Guti and Amia Oliver took first in Quiz Bowl. Willie Mack, Malik Gordon, and Mohammed Abdel Hamid took second place in Pentathlon. And Annabelle Sanchez and Janiyah Messick took second place in Egg Drop. High school awards at this year's Rockame Jamboree went to students from Ashley, New Hanover, and Laney High School. They were Cameron McIntosh, who took first place in Quiz Bowl, Paris Holmes and Cameron McIntosh, who took third place in Chemistry Clue, and Cameron McIntosh, who took second place in math tests. Jasmine Young was a big winner on the high school level. She took first place as individual in PowerPoint and Quiz Bowl. She also took first place in Chemistry Clue with teammate Autumn James. Janae Young took first place in Oratory Contest, while the team of Desiree Preston and Shamira Thompson took third place in Write It, Do It. Finally, rounding out the high school Rockame winners were the teams of Jordan Shaw, Colby Shaw, Jayla McLeod, and Terrell Hubbard, who took first place in Pentathlon. Jasmine Carr and Naisha Anderson, who took first place in PowerPoint. Jasmine Carr and Anna Williams, who took first place in Quiz Bowl. And the team of Anna Williams and Terrell Hubbard, who took second place in math tests. New Hanover County Schools was also proud to announce that Ashira Maltzby, an 8th grade student at DC Virgo Preparatory Academy, was named the Rockame Middle School Student of the Year. Overall, New Hanover County took second place at this year's Rockame Jamboree. Reporting for Your School News, this is Kathy Kale.
New Hanover County Schools has released its official 2016 high school graduation ceremonies schedule. We will start with our 3 non-traditional high schools. Isaac Bear Early College High School students will graduate on May 28th at the Bernie Center on UNCW campus at 10 a.m. Wilmington Early College High School will also hold their ceremony on May 28th. Their ceremony will be held at 1 p.m. in the Cape Fear Community College Humanities and Fine Arts Center. Finally, the Career Readiness Academy Mosley Performance Learning Center will hold its ceremony at Snipes Academy of Art and Design on June 10th at 7 p.m. The 4 traditional high school graduation ceremonies are scheduled for Saturday, June 11th at Trask Coliseum on the campus of the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Hoggard High School's ceremony will be at 9 a.m. New Hanover High School's ceremony will be at 12:30 p.m. Laney High School's ceremony will be at 4 o'clock p.m. And Ashley High School will close out the day with their ceremony at 7:30 p.m. To review the complete graduation schedule, you can go to the school system's website at www.nhcs.net.
Parsley students got to travel back in time to the 18th century when our nation was born. They learned about early American history from the Revolutionary War to the everyday colonial world. It was all part of the Camp Flintlock experience. YSN reporter Louis Behar has all the details.
Fifth graders at Parsley Elementary School had the amazing opportunity to live life like a colonial American at Camp Flintlock. Camp Flintlock lets visitors travel back in time to the 18th century where American life was simpler in technology but harder in labor. The students were welcomed by fife and drum music, the type of music that was traditionally played back in America back then. The field trip had each class of 5th graders rotate between 5 35-minute stations. The stations included beeswax candle making, where each student made a candle using the dip method. A wick was dipped alternately in beeswax and then water to cool it before dipping into wax again. The students also had an opportunity to act like kids by playing colonial games like cup and ball, graces, 9-pins, pickup sticks, hoop racing, and tug of war. Another favorite station was the Indian necklace making station. At the Indian necklace making station, students used glass beads and hair pipe beads made from buffalo horn and buffalo bones to make an authentic style necklace. It was at this station that the students also learned about the furs and hides that the colonials used, as well as what went into their preparation. The students certainly had a better appreciation for how much easier it is to write today when they use a turkey quill and bottle ink to write as they would during colonial times.
Now, there are two kinds of ink. One is India ink and the other is iron gall ink. India ink is based off of charcoal mixed with water.
The final two stations were the colonial store and dress-up station. The dress-up station gave students an opportunity to learn how the colonials dress. Some students modeled in reproductions of 18th century clothing, learning the name and function of each article of clothing. They also learned that a hand fan was used for more than just to keep yourself cool. The students had a wonderful time living in 18th century America. Reporting for Your School News, this is Louis Behar.
Parents, educators, and others are invited to provide feedback regarding proposed revisions to the content standards for high school math courses, Math 1, 2, and 3, via an online survey. The survey will be available through May 20th. The NC Department of Public Instruction reviews the state standard course of study on a 5-year cycle per subject, and mathematics is currently under review. Once all feedback has been collected, changes could go into effect as early as the fall of 2016.
Now, don't go away. Coming up, Trask Middle School students explore Greenfield Lake.
Plus, we have a look at education across the nation in our Education Index and what's on tap for lunch with the Lunch Bill of Fare.
Your School News will continue after the break.
Listen, I know you're upset, but it was just one date. And dating's like the stock market. There's ups and downs and ups. So always buy low.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Welcome back to Your School News. It's time now for our Education Index, a look around the nation and the world at some of the top stories in education. Topping the index, it was the first day of the Mississippi Assessment Program testing, and as students approached McWillie Elementary School in Jackson, Mississippi, they received high fives from dads lining the sidewalk, cheering them on. The local chapter of Watchdogs, or Dads of Great Students, formed a human tunnel they dubbed the Academic Corridor of Success. They gathered at all Jackson Public School elementary and middle schools on April 25th to give a boost of confidence to the students on their first day of state testing. The 2016 presidential campaign has hardly lived up to the ideal of a civil exchange of ideas and facilitating a peaceful democracy. But a new report from the Southern Poverty Law Center suggests that the bitterness from the campaign trail may be having a broader negative effect on society, particularly in American schools. An online survey of 2,000 educators, one that the center notes was not scientific, found half saying they witnessed an increase in uncivil political discourse during the 2016 campaign. 2/3 of respondents said their students, particularly Muslims, immigrants, and children of immigrants, openly expressed concerns or fear about what might happen to them or their families after the election. The campaign rhetoric has also fueled an uptick in bullying, teachers in the survey said, observing that students seem emboldened to use increasingly inflammatory statements and engage in name-calling. Finally, a case over school finance in New York that has been dragging on for more than 20 years. The lawsuit by a group known as the Campaign for Fiscal Equity was thought to have been settled in 2006. That's when the state's highest court ruled that New York failed to provide New York City with enough money for a sound basic education as required by its own state constitution. Plans to fix the problem were thwarted by the 2008 financial crisis. The case has now become dramatic fodder for a group of New York City high school students. They created a play showing how they've been affected by the lack of resources for their schools. Their scenes depict crowded classrooms that don't have enough notebooks, a school with a gymnatorium, and politicians who keep passing the buck when questioned about money for public schools. And that's this week's Education Index, a quick look at some of the interesting education stories from around the nation and the world. Now, don't go away. We'll be right back with the Lunch Bill Affair. This is Your School News on Cable and Online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhts.net. Also, check out NHCS TV on Facebook and Twitter.
When Charles Bennett graduated from high school, he dreamed of returning to his old neighborhood as a teacher. But without the money for college, only half his dream came true. He's back in the old neighborhood. Please support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Welcome back to Your School News. It's time now for this week's Lunch Bill Affair. Our lunch menu specialist, Hunter Ledman, is standing by in the newsroom with the week's school lunch menu so parents, students, teachers, and everyone working with the New Hanover County school system can plan their lunchtime options.
Welcome to the Lunch Bill Affair here on Your School News. I'm Hunter Ledman. We have a busy week for lunch ladies cooking and prepping for this week's lunch menu, so let's take a look at it. On Tuesday, May 17th, embark on a delicious journey with spaghetti and meatballs with a breadstick, barbecue chicken with a biscuit, or pork barbecue sandwich. While you're on a journey, to grab a side of lima beans, fresh veggie cup, or fresh fruit. On Wednesday, May 18th, enjoy hump day with a delicious Philly cheesesteak, cheesy breadsticks, or turkey with cheese wrap. Remember to grab a side of pasta salad, North Carolina sweet potato, garden salad, or diced peaches. On Thursday, May 19th, your school's cafeteria will be headlining the following entrees: BLT sandwich with cheese cubes, macaroni and cheese with a roll, and a cheeseburger. Don't forget to grab a side of vegetable soup, french fries, and fresh fruit. Now on Friday, May 20th, end the school week off with an awesome beef enchilada with Spanish rice, chicken egg rolls with fried rice, or corn dog nuggets. Your sides are oriental vegetables, garden salad, and raisins. Now here's a weekend healthy tip for you. Put on sunscreen. Sunscreen helps block out UV rays from the sun. Being tan is great and all, but it comes with a big risk. And those risks are premature skin, aging, sunburn, blisters, and as well as skin cancer. On Monday, May 23rd, welcome school back with a smile with the cafeteria serves chicken nuggets with rice and gravy, a fish fillet sandwich and a hot dog with chili. The sides are macaroni salad, sweet potato waffle fries, garden salad, and diced pears. Now taking a look back at this week's lunch menu, we have spaghetti and meatballs on Tuesday and a BLT sandwich on Thursday. Your sides throughout the week are lima beans, North Carolina sweet potato, and raisins. Well, that's all for this week's Lunch Bill of Fare. I'm Hunter Ledman, and from the newsroom, back to you.
Thanks, Hunter. Don't forget, you can also catch the Lunch Bill of Fare during the morning show here on the Learning Network and get lots of helpful nutrition information online at www.nhcs.net/nutrition. Now don't go away. Coming up, Trask Middle School students explore Greenfield Lake.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to Your School News. Students from Trask Middle School took a field trip to Greenfield Lake to learn about the importance of knowing about the environment.
Students rotated among various stations at the lake to learn about how the environment in which they live, play, and work functions, and discovering their role in the system.
Exploring soil was one of the stations that Trask students studied at. They learned to examine and identify major components of soil to better understand how these components give the soil its unique physical characteristics.
Students learned that sand, silt, and clay make up 40 to 80% of soil. These components are present in different proportions, giving soils their different characteristics and textures.
At another station, students learned about the ecosystem and how certain animals play different roles in the chain of the ecosystem. Also, what certain animals eat defines what they are, whether herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores.
The soil and water conservation staff allowed the students to see the skulls and pellets of some of the animals that call southeastern North Carolina home.
Along the docks of Greenfield Lake, the students learned about two types of water pollution, a point source and non-point source.
Students discovered that water quality provides a window on the health and vitality of an ecosystem. With test kits, the students study the temperature, salinity, and chemistry of the water in Greenfield Lake.
The Trask students used nets and buckets to scoop up plant life and tiny creatures hidden in the waters. One student even caught a fish.
Everyone had a great time being outside, learning about the lake, and exploring the amazing world around them.
Environmental education is a lifelong process for the learner and is the key to teaching present and future generations about our unique resources and why it is important to conserve and become stewards of them.
Well, that does it for this edition of Your School News. Recapping some of our main stories, Board of Education held a special meeting in May. New Hanover and Hoggard students win Moorhead Cane and Park scholarships, and Roland Grice Trash Can Therapy Band showcased 15th Annual Art Sensation.
Remember, Your School News is on cable and online. And don't forget to start your morning with our Light and Lively morning show, weekdays at 6 a.m. I'm Alexander Ellsworth.
I'm Justin Hackling. On behalf of the entire YSN crew, thanks for watching New Hanover County Schools TV on the Learning Network.
Have a great day.